Hi, a very good afternoon to all of you watching this virtual conference. My name is Irilang Mawlong. I'm from Shillong Commerce College, teaching in the Department of Education. Today's session, I am going to talk about creative dimensions of teaching and learning. So let me read out the point to you, what I'm going to discuss in this session. The first point is on how to develop creative practices in order to promote what is called innovation, imagination, critical thinking, and problem solving. Number two, I'm going to talk about the importance of being creative. And the last point, I'm going to show you the examples of the impact of creativity seen in various fields. So let me begin by saying that creative dimensions of teaching and learning in this 21st century demands or appeals to all the educators and teachers around the world in every disciplines, teaching from primary level to the tertiary level, to challenge themselves daily to develop these creative practices in order to promote innovation, imagination, critical thinking, and problem solving. As we all know, God created all of us with unique creative abilities. No one can say that you're not creative. You are creative. As the saying goes, that creativity is the birthright available to all, but only few use it nicely. So here, let me define what this creativity means. Creativity is the ability of an individual to produce new idea, create new object which is novel, which is original, or maybe rearranging or reshaping what is already existed. So here also, let us one by one find out how to promote innovation. First, to provide a proper environment. Second, engage in active learning. And the third, engage them, the students, in collaborating or work together. So let us learn from one of the movie called School of Rock. This movie has actually influenced me, and I have learned something from this movie which I'm going to tell you right now. This actor or an artist in the movie was a musician, but then due to some problem, he was unable to succeed in his music career, so he landed up being a part-time teacher. When he was there in the first class, he was not able to energize his talent, or maybe he's not able to teach to the student because that is not his cup of taste. And most of the students were worried what they are going to do in his class. But then, one day, he heard his students playing instrument in the music class, and then when he went up, he saw his students that one of them were playing guitar, one of them were playing piano, one of them playing this violins, and many more. And he has this crazy idea, okay, let me come up with this, forming a band out of this class. He had this idea and he used his creativity. He used this creative idea to come up with a band. And when he introduced this idea to the class, they were all surprised. And one of the students say, are we going to study, or are we going to learn what is in the book, or are we going to perform? And he said to do both. And then he is a very funny one. And then he provided a proper environment for them first. He made them say what they feel, what they like, what they want. And once they are comfortable with him, then he assigned duties and responsibilities to each one of them without leaving out any students. He assigned them according to their interests, according to their talent. But here in this movie, he made one mistake. He took one student for granted because of her facial appearance. She was black, and then she was fat, maybe. And because of that, because of her facial appearance, physical structure, this artist, he said that, oh, maybe you can become a cheerleader. But later, when she tried to be a cheerleader, she could not perform well. So she came out to this teacher and she said that, sir, I will not be able to do this cheering thing. And then she said, I can sing. And he was amazed. Oh, really? You can sing? Then he said, okay, let me try out sing. And then when she opened up her mouth, she was just a wonderful singer. And then, therefore, what I learned from this movie is that we as teacher or the boss in the company, we should never ever take anyone for granted just because of their facial appearances. And then also in this movie, I learned about teamwork. This teacher in this movie, he makes sure that everyone worked together, right from the one who played piano, the one who played drum, the one who played guitar, the one who sang, the one who cheer, and the one who managed the whole band, and the one who have to come up with the name of the band, and the one who have to do with video editing, and so many more. And then, and then they came out with this band, with the name of the band called School of Rock. And another one which I learned from this movie is that he take risks. He knows that this thing will, the principal and the parents, if they know, they will not allow them. But then the student was so confident about their talent. He put confidence in them. He made them believe who they are. So I believe that to be innovative or to develop what is called innovation, or we as teachers, we need to make them believe. We need them to make them believe that they are creative in their own way. And the next one is engage them in learning. Also, he, apart from singing song in the band, he also make them learn grammar in the class. The next one is he make them to work together. He makes sure everyone work together, join hand together, so that they will come out successful. And they did. And they play very well in the in one of the show. And all the parents were shocked and amazed to see that their children actually are good at that, which actually none of them knew about that what their children are good at. So it's very, very important for us to provide that space for them to grow. And let's see, the next one is how to promote what is called imagination. The first one is to involve students in imaginative play and drama. The second one is either you read out or you tell a story. In order to justify my point, let me talk to you about Anand Kumar. I believe all of you have heard about Anand Kumar, especially when this movie called Super 30 came. And then what amazed me is that one of his students from this Super 30, he said in one of his articles that he learned 7 lessons from Sir Anand Kumar's class. And let's see what are those 7 lessons. The first one, he said that Sir Anand Kumar, he used to say to his students to trust themselves even in difficult times. Or I can say, even in difficult times, trust yourself. That is all we should encourage our students. The moment they learn to trust themselves, they will flourish in every field they are. The next one is, math is like sports. He said that. Anand Kumar always refer math as sports. The more you practice, the more you will be perfect. Like Usain Bolt, every day he practiced, and every time he win. So the next point is set a new record. And here, Sir Anand Kumar, he always encouraged his students to always solve problems, come up with many solutions, and to always break the record. For example, now, if you practice and practice, you might find out that you're actually doing faster than the sum that you did before. And this is how he referred to Usain Bolt, that every time he breaks his own record and set a new one. The next one is Sir Anand Kumar, he always encouraged every student in his class to come up with many solutions. It may be 9, it may be 7, it may be 8, and then one problem with many solutions. The next one is these students, he said that he covered 50% of his syllabus by himself without a teacher. So this makes him to be self-reliant. I remember when I was a kid, when I was in class 7, I remember most of the teachers, when they send their students for any competition, whether in district or state, they will look up to those students who have high grade. But then one day I said to myself, enough is enough. Let me stand up. I stood up and I said, I also want to participate. And when I start to stand up, one by one start following me. And everyone said, oh, me also, I want to participate. And then I remember the teacher put the competition in the school. Okay, fine, you go home and write an essay. And then I went home, I said, Mother, please help me out in writing an essay. My mother said that, oh, you just go and find out from the bookshelf. Why don't you do it by yourself? When you do it by yourself, you will learn better. And then I was like angry a bit to my mother because she's not helping me out. But then I'm thankful to her now because of her that I'm able to learn by myself till now. And it's very, very important and to learn by themselves, especially learn by ourselves. And let me tell you, actually I win. Or maybe I can say that I won that essay competition. So see, we should believe in ourselves. The next one is what? Anand Kumar always encouraged students to think beyond curriculum. Most of us, we are very, very addicted, I would say, to follow what is there in the curriculum. But then this creative teacher come up with this idea and tell the students, always go beyond the curriculum. And the last point, he said that a very important point, I believe that, to find joy in whatever you do. He always turned maths activity into fun activity. He will always encourage his students to draw, to paint, to have no stress, to find peace, to find happiness. Because let me tell you, only when you have peace, only when you are happy, then only you will be able to engage yourself in learning more and more. But when you are unhappy, you are stressed out, even though if you try to learn, it will be difficult for you. So it's very important for all the teachers, all the viewers here, participants watching this virtual conference, to always remember to remain happy and to motivate students to be joyful, because this way can actually pave the students to be more creative. Next, let's move on how to promote critical thinking and problem solving. The first point here is make time to think, ask constructive questions. Next is brainstorming, and the last one is reinforce children's solution. To justify again these points on how to promote critical thinking and problem solving, let me tell you about Mr. Ron Clark, the most passionate, creative educators of all time. And also, I learned from his movie, Ron Clark itself. This educator or this teacher, when he was teaching in New York City, he will always make an attempt to visit the kids first before the first day of their class. After that, on his first class, he will not start right away with the lesson, but he will motivate the student to dream big and take risks. I believe that motivation is one of the factors that will help us to move on or to move on in life. And then also he said that we are family is his first rule, and he makes sure that all of his students follow it. Let me tell you, only when we have this feeling of oneness, then only you will be able to open up your mind, You will be able to share your ideas to your friends without being scared, without being say, oh, what if she doesn't like my ideas? Only when you feel that feeling of oneness, that togetherness, then only you will be able to work collaboratively. Ron Clark, he also practiced this policy of praise and race. And also he used a very creative, I would say crazy teaching technique. I remember when he was teaching his class, he gave one condition to the student. He made a deal actually. He said, let me do one thing. You listen to me for 15 seconds attentively, and I will be drinking chocolate milk in order for you to see me puke. And then he did that. And to my amaze, it worked. And the students are able to actually respond to his question at the end of his lesson. The next one is he also make use of appropriate technology, like video camera, television, whatever is available there. And most of us, I believe, we must be relaxing at home when we are not well. But Ron Clark, he will not do that. He will pre-plan his lesson, and he makes sure that if he is not well, then his students will not miss the class. And with the help of technology, he is able to teach the students, and the students enjoy learning from his class. The next, second point, let us see on the importance of being creative. Why it is important to be creative? Because it predicts longer life. Second, solve problem. Third, it develops confidence and reduce stress. It saves life, and it reduces stress and enhance learning by increasing what is called motivation. Let me give you an example of one participant of American Got Talent, Mr. Archie C. William. This man was falsely arrested for 37 years for the crime that he didn't commit. And then I was so touched by his speech. He said that even though I went to the prison, but I never let my mind go to prison. I try my best to find out creative ideas, ways, and means to make myself survive in the prison by singing song, by praying, and many more. And then he said one important thing here. He said that technology, because he have to undergo DNA fingerprinting, technology bring him justice and save his life. And with his creative abilities, he came out as a participant of AGT, or American Got Talent. So I believe this man has really touched everyone as he touched me. And the third point, that is on the examples of the impact of creativity or scenes in various fields. Let me tell you, there's one Khasi lady, or I would say from Tirna village, Sheriponji. She left bank job to bring out empowerments to 300 plus farmers. And her name is Dasumarlin Majau. This woman, she was a primary teacher before, and then she worked in the bank, and then she left the bank job, and then she took a risk and took a loan, and then she tried so many attempts of roasting the coffee. And let me tell you, it is because of her childhood experience drinking coffee with his grandmother that she is able to set an empire today. Her company started in 2015, and she is able to produce 7 tons of coffee, and then she's able to sell her coffee to different states of India and also to different countries like Bangladesh, South Africa, and New Zealand. Isn't she wonderful? And this woman, because of her creativity, because of her creative ideas, she is not only surviving herself, but actually she also, make an impact on the life of others. The next one, let me tell you about this man who have this farm, 10 acres farm I would say, and he collect all the waste from his society and created an organic ecosystem in his farm. And he started rainwater harvesting also. The best thing about this man is that he opened his farm for students to come and see and enjoy farming, and also to see his recycling activities. And also one thing about him, he made one pond for the children to swim there. And he said in an interview that he loved watching this kid and it makes him happy. And just imagine the society around him benefited from him, not only his fruit, vegetables that he have planted in his farm, but also the water. The next last one is those two men from Mexico. They have transformed cacti into vegan leather. And the name of those two men is Mr. Adrian Lopez and Marty Cazares. These two young men, they come up with this idea of why not create vegan leathers in making shoes back from cactus, because they thought that this would save animals and environment, and it did. They have succeeded in doing this. Because of this, their imaginative idea, because of their creative idea, because of their innovative idea, they are able to save animals today. So I believe this story have really impacted me, have really influenced me, have really touched me, and I will be learning a lot from this, as you people also will be learning from this. So to conclude, creativity becomes the focus for the current students and future citizens to adapt with these societal changes, both professionally and personally. And I'm sure that all of you watching this virtual conference have learned from this topic. And let me tell you, this creative aspect indeed can help you out in your teaching and learning process. In fact, this IBM survey of around 1,500 CEO across the world, they said that one factor that can make us successful is creativity. So with this, let me tell you, creativity has really saved life, and it can really help us to survive in this world. With this, thank you.
Hello everyone. In the last 2 days, we have had the privilege to hold 5 different speakers and to present through the 5 sessions insights, information, and initiatives that could be further explored and developed in addressing the challenges of a changing world. The field of education is vast, and the ways of doing it as many as we can think of. As the hosts and organizers of this virtual conference on education in the 21st century, adapting to a changing world, we are deeply grateful that we have been able to host this conference. I am personally deeply thankful to Reverend Brother Dr. Albert Longdi Dekar, the principal of St. Anthony's College, Shillong, for taking the initiative to spearhead the hosting and organizing of this virtual conference. He has been instrumental in ensuring that the conference happened in such a wonderful manner. On behalf of St. Anthony's College, Shillong, and the Postgraduate Department of Education, I would like to convey our sincere gratitude and appreciation to our panel of learned speakers. Reverend Father Dr. George Thadatil, Ms. Hun Pelawar, Ms. Anita Suzanne Bins, Dr. Mrs. Odetta Mendoza, Ms. Irilang Mawlong. We are especially grateful to them for going the extra mile in not only preparing their lectures, but also for taking the trouble to either record and upload their lectures or come for the recording of their lectures to the studio in spite of the hassle involved in the use of technology, working with fluctuating bandwidth, and traveling to the venue. We would like to thank the following people who had really worked hard and who are behind the scenes in hosting the 5 sessions and in putting things together in such an excellent way. Reverend Father Dr. Joby Joseph for setting up the channel and working on the technical aspect. Professor Jacob Shillong for designing the publicity material and corresponding with the speakers. Professor Nathaniel M. Majau for editing the videos and the sound. The faculty of the PG Department of Education for assisting with the registration and participation. I will be failing in my duty if I do not extend our warmest and sincere thanks to the following institutions, cells, and network for their technical support. The Salesian College Sonada, the Bosco Media Network, Rusa Cell, St. Anthony's College. Most importantly, I have the profoundest joy in thanking all the participants who have been our greatest source of encouragement and inspiration in hosting this event. We would like to thank professors, academicians, educators, principals, faculties, research scholars, and students for signing up to attend our conference. Our heartfelt thanks goes to the 900 plus participants of the conference. Please note that your certificates will be mailed to you a day after the event is over. In case there is a slight delay, kindly bear with us. We assure that your certificates will be sent to you without fail. Kuleshibun, thank you. Evermore, better ever.